Hey, welcome, Aaron. Thanks for being willing to spend time with me to chat today a little bit more about our partnership with Specialty Manufacturing Company and Thrive. We always reference it as SMC, so it's almost hard for me to say the whole name of the company. But want a chance to just visit today to give people a chance to hear your story on, what are you doing with Thrive? What's that look like? And ultimately, how does it shape your culture and your role? So let's start a little bit. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, the company,
Sure.
your role, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like you said, I'm Aaron Hecker. I'm the Director of Information Systems here at the Specialty Manufacturing Company. We are a vertically integrated manufacturing company with three plants across Minnesota, about 250 people currently. Um, I've been here for 12 years now. I've seen a lot of changes in 12 years and gone through a pandemic. Yeah, that's always interesting, right? I came here with about 15 years of experience in the kind of the IT service and support side, which make me actually a good fit for our company. We're very much employee and customer focused. So having those skills to be able to serve people and actually, it's rewarding for people like myself and my team, um, to fix people's problems and kind of be the hero, and just make things run smoothly for everybody around us. That's very much what this company focuses on, is not only innovation, but trying to innovate with stability and efficiency. Um, we really believe in maximizing our relationships with partners too, like Lean Tech, and we have plenty of other partners which we would consider best of breed. So yeah, that's a little bit
Yeah,
about me and the company.
cool. Thank you. Thanks for spending time today. I
Yep.
think it's good for people to hear and just have a real conversation about how does software help drive a culture, help drive a business result, and hear that in a real way, in a real journey, right? So
Yeah.
when just even in your introduction there, I heard a couple of things about some of the culture, how you define maybe your culture. I heard some nuggets anyway of
Yeah.
innovation, sustainable innovation, problem solvers. So as you think about like software and culture, right? How do you think, like, what would you describe using those words maybe that you started to, or whatever else, the culture
Yeah.
at SMC, and how does that come into play then as you think about Thrive or your journey with Thrive? What's that fit look like?
Sure. Yeah. We believe pretty strongly that our processes are what make us unique, set us apart in the marketplace. And they're pretty mature processes. We've been around since 1900, over 120 years in the business. So that's what sets us apart, and that's what our tools have to enable us to do. So we need tools that are flexible to adapt to our process, and not the other way around. I think it's really easy to change your process because it fits into the tool that you're given, and that's not what we like to do if we can help it.
Mhm.
Thrive is great at that. It's flexible. What I like especially is that we have the ability to turn on and off pieces that we want people to use or not use. Like I mentioned, we have an ERP system that runs most of our business, but it has gaps. There's things that it simply can't do, and it's more rigid. I think ERP systems can generally be more rigid than you want, so they don't bend to your processes. I think Thrive is a great tool for filling those gaps and allowing us to kind of customize the tool to meet our process.
Mhm.
And when we don't change our processes, people I feel like are just generally more engaged. This is a process that maybe somebody has worked on for the last 10 years and really refined it. And so if they can keep running with that without having to modify what they're doing just because the software or the tool doesn't do what they want it to do, that becomes a problem.
Mhm.
One little bit, if we
Yeah.
can, put it in or cut it
Yeah.
out, I left out is the average tenure of employees here at Specialty Manufacturing is over 9 years. And
Hmm.
that's for 250 people. That's pretty good. And we have people who've been here,
Yeah.
many people over 20 years, several over 30, and we've even had a few people made it here, more than 40 years
Yeah.
before retiring. It's a great place to retire from.
What do
You
you
know,
think drives that, Aaron? What do you, there's a culture there too. What do you think's the
There's
driver
definitely.
in that?
Yeah, definitely. Our leadership really values tenured employees. They believe if you take care of the employee will take care of your customer. So that rings true. It's a family-owned company. They believe, hey, you got to take care of yourself and your family first. Obviously, you got to come to work. It's important, but the company is very willing to work with people so that they can take care of their own families and really fosters this idea of relationships and taking care of people around you. We go through a strategic planning process very regularly. We meet 3-4 times a year. And we only have 3 pillars in strategic planning. One entire pillar is dedicated to people and culture. That's literally the name of it, is people and culture. So, we have programs in place for employee recognition, employee development, things maybe required training based on your position. We're developing, formal communication strategies. We're developing like a culture score. Over the past several years, we've partnered with firms to do employee satisfaction surveys. We did a local one in Minnesota. The Star Tribune has a survey. We kind of aced it the first 3 years, and so we wanted to go bigger.
Nice.
So for the last 3 years, have successfully achieved a Great Place to Work certification. And there's some, minimum requirements to become certified. And we nailed it. We're doing really well. And it's not like it stops there, though. There's always things to improve, and we want to make sure that we're continually improving our culture to make sure, people are happy to come to work. Happy people make better product and they serve better customers. So
well, I know we get to work with some of those 10-year people because we've partnered together since 2007, I think it is. So what, 16-ish years now, or 17 maybe, but a long time. And so, some of those team members we work with directly, and they're in the process, right? They're like on the shop floor doing X, whatever that is. From an IT perspective, and thinking of that culture of longevity, team members that care, a company that cares for team members, what do you hear them say regarding Thrive on why it's a value? Like, how does it bring value, whether it's, communication, visibility, whatever? Like, what do you hear them say?
Yeah, I think let me back up a little bit and just say that Thrive has brought structure to those processes, which we couldn't fit into our already structured tools. Like I said, Thrive fills gaps for us very well. And those gaps were previously just kind of loosey-goosey, The tool enables us to first bring structure and consistency, which brings transparency and accountability. People are putting into the tool the data that we need to drive performance and efficiency. So if you give someone a tool to improve a process or improve a product, oftentimes people don't care what comes out downstream. They just, they want to put in what's required of them, and that's about it. Well, with this tool, with Thrive, we are able to really structure the data that they're putting in, require the right data from them, but yet make it simple. You and I are going through, or Kale especially is going through a shop floor communications tool. And the idea is, employees want to focus on their job to do the best they can, and meet their metrics, right? So when we need something else downstream, we don't want to interfere with that if we can help it. And so we're building a tool within Thrive that really makes it easy for employees to, hey, I just want to fire off a request for help, and I want to keep doing my job. So so employees really recognize the ease of use. And you can make a form in Thrive. You can make it complicated, make it very easy, and it's really flexible and to enable us to do that.
That's cool. Yeah, you mentioned the new stuff we're working on. It's been a journey, right, over the last 13 years or whatever, 15 years. But as we think of that journey from a IT perspective, so somebody who's leading your company's vision from a technology standpoint,
Hmm.
that's been a journey, right? Over the years, like
Hmm.
there's seasons change, technologies change, thought processes sometimes even change, even in stable companies. How do you think about technology? So, just in general, how do you plan that, and then why Thrive in that equation?
Hmm.
How does the platform of Thrive fit into your strategic planning?
Yeah, for sure. My strategy is when we run IT in our department or in our company is we don't have a lot of extra time to do the stuff that everybody else can do, or more so, better stated, maybe we want to do the value-added work, right?
Mm,
We want to work on stuff that makes the specialty manufacturing company us, right? Um, so as a result, we don't tend to customize programs. We don't want to build our own tools if we can help it. That's where we'll partner with a best of breed partner to deliver a product that's reliable, it's supported, it's innovative. So Thrive is just one more of those tools that helps us do that. We don't have to have our custom processes on the side just because we don't have a tool to do it or because the tool we have is, you know, kludgy or clunky. Um,
mhm.
Thrive is a good fit for making our processes tick without really interrupting them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we take that, and it goes beyond Thrive. There's no doubt. Our strategy, just in
Mhm.
general, is find a partner who has a great product that fits with our process, and then run with it. And we want to maintain that partnership with that provider because we don't. You guys are the experts, right? Our partners are the experts that make the software tick. We don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting relationship in that, because it's kind of the same way for us, right? So as you guys
Sure.
use tools, we always say it's our Gemba, or it's our customer has to teach us what the need is, and then we have to be the expert. So the two experts actually have to align. And that's why I think culture matters so much. Because if it doesn't fit amongst the companies that are working together, if you feel like software solves your problem, and if we look at it and say you need to have the right people or leadership in place to drive sustainability, and you have to have a process, and you bring those two together, they work out really well.
Hmm.
I know you guys have, in that journey, also kind of started the things as you need them within the Thrive tool, right? So do you want to talk a little bit about that process and how it might help you as an IT leader to provide tools to your operations team?
Yeah, yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly how we stepped into using Thrive. We had a early on, we our biggest gap was in the quality area. We needed a tool to manage our gauges, our inspection gauges. Uh, we are an ISO 9001 certified shop, which means our manufacturing process has to be pretty darn solid. That's a quality-oriented certification. Um, so we needed a tool to manage how our gauges get calibrated, make sure they're calibrated on time. Um, and we needed a tool to allow our gauges to be checked in and out as the work flows through our shop. And we have thousands and thousands of gauges. You can imagine how painful that would be to manage without a tool. And it was. So we first partnered with LeanTech for the purpose of gauge management. And then we quickly saw the value in all the modules available in the product. Early on, we only enabled people to use it for gauges. And then we have a few MVPs or champions, whatever you want to call them, in various departments that, we can give them a little freer access to see everything else that's available in the tool. Because again, we don't want shadow IT going on. We don't want these processes that people are running on the side outside of our ERP system, or just maybe that processes that are very siloed or unique to that one department that maybe don't, as our company grows, they don't really port well to other areas.
Mm,
So it's nice to turn on and off modules as you need them. So we started with gauges and quality. We quickly found the value in maintenance, for preventative maintenance, and just keeping track of all the work orders. We have a maintenance team of 4 or 5 people here at the St. Paul campus, and when you have 4 or 5 people trying to do the same job, people are
Mm-hmm.
stepping each other's toes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely need a way to keep track of maintenance work orders and requests. And then we quickly saw, okay, well, that works very well there. That dovetails really nicely with inventory. So we started using Thrive for keeping track of our spare parts inventory in the maintenance area. We don't use it to manage our product that we sell to customers, but we use it to manage every other product that's internal that you still need to do your business.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's worked very, very well especially as administrator, to only hand out the tools to our user base that we want them to use. And we don't always want to be the gatekeepers of all that. So yeah, we do have MVPs who let them poke around and say, hey, this is a great area of the product I think we could use to improve our business.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun watching from this side on that journey, because I think
Right.
of people like Beth, right, on your
Yeah.
team, who is one of those MVPs. And when people get a chance, back to culture, when they get a chance to get tools that help them. So, hey, Aaron's allowing us to do this because it fits into some vision, right? And it's a tool that we think makes sense to start to leverage, and they get to use it and there's value. You have a big win, right? Culturally.
Mhm.
And, now things like training, I know you guys were a key partner in doing some even co-development on. And as you look at future things, compliance, other stuff along the way, it begins to drive momentum, you might say, with your operations. At least I see from this side with people like that on, oh, wow, we're now pushing into this area because it solves a problem or it helps a leader to do their job well,
Definitely.
versus here's a software, go make it work mentality.
Right. Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's a pull.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It fits in very well. It's really easy to just poke around in the tool, find, you have a gap somewhere, and you have a tool available to you. You can poke around and see if it works. And if it doesn't, fine, it doesn't.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, probably 8 out of 10 times, just poking around, we find something, hey, this could actually work to fill that gap over there, right? Or this process has been clunky for years. Let's try to, now that we have a lot of players, a lot of users using our product, using the Thrive product, we can have them, they're already in there naturally. Let's have them move this process over there because it makes more sense, right?
Right.
Yeah, it works very,
Right.
very well.
I gotta ask this question. I know, because I'm always curious, and I don't think I've even ever asked you this, so it'll be interesting to see what you say. But we have a model that's a little different than most companies from a financial standpoint. We have a model that says unlimited users, all modules, right?
Yeah.
And then your platform becomes the tool that you can build these additional things onto if you want to, but it comes
Mhm.
with whatever 50 or so different processes built into it, right? Like,
Mhm.
and so with unlimited users, um, we do offer hosted services of it. Like, how does that matter or play at all? And maybe the answer is it didn't for you, but does it play at all when you start thinking about costing and ease from an IT management standpoint?
Definitely. There's no question it does. Yeah. Um, with Thrive, you get a lot of bang for the buck, right? It's not only the licensing for the users, and you license it once, you have access to so many pieces of the software. It goes beyond that. Um, when users can poke around at different modules, they can see, hey, this might fit for us. We don't have to expand licensing to
Mhm.
now just to try it out, and then okay, it didn't work, so we got to back out our licensing. As people come and go, we don't have to ratchet up and down our licensing, um, uh, just to as the workforce changes, which happens naturally.
Mhm.
But I think more than that, I think what you touched on was, if you have access to tools that you don't use today, um, if you have to pay to step into that arena, you're much less likely to do it, right? You're
Mhm.
much less likely to innovate uh, uh, your processes if you don't have access or can't even get your foot in the door to see what it looks like. That's where I think Thrive really excels, is that once you have it in-house, now you can tinker to your heart's content, or at least to your IT department's content, right?
Right.
They have the keys
Right.
to turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works really well for us. And it's helped us, as we add different sites to bring other sites online to do the same processes we're doing at maybe our headquarters versus which we weren't doing at remote sites. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That standardization of process as you grow, consistency of process, which again fits, I think, all the way back to culture at the beginning, right? So what is
Yeah.
it I care about? And then how do I provide that tool so that I can make my team's life easier, right? Like,
Hmm.
I want them excited. And we got a chance with you last year to do a Thrive event in the fall at your guys' facility, and then got to bring in other Thrive users, came and got to see it. And it was evident listening to them. They saw it too, right? Because now you walk into a shop floor that's operating under a process with excited people and you go, wow,
Yeah.
like, right? And it wasn't because Thrive it was the answer, right? It was because you have a culture and Thrive becomes a component of your culture to
Hmm.
to fit that, to mold that, and to drive that in your through your leaders.
Yeah, well, we had after our Thrive event this last year, we had so much interest in Thrive. People saying, "I didn't know it could do that."
Mm,
I want it for this reason. I want it for that reason.
right.
And it was really exciting, like you said. It's people are really interested not only in the product, but to the light bulb turns on. They realize, hey, I can make my process better. We have a tool to do that. That's great. I'm going to go after it, right?
Right.
Stuff that they've
Right.
put up with for years that they know isn't efficient, but it's just the way it's always been. They realize,
Yeah.
oh, hey, I can do this and that. So yeah, that was a very helpful event for us as well, and to see what other customers are doing. Like, oh, well, that's
Mhm.
it's a brilliant way to handle that. We didn't know we could do it that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, do you have any other thoughts or advice? Maybe even different than we've talked about today, but if I was somebody who is a director of IT at a 250 person company and I called you up and said, "Hey, I hear these guys are, Lean Technology has a product called Thrive.
Hmm.
What do I need to know? What's my keys to success? What do you have any thoughts that you'd give somebody on that?"
Yeah, for sure. I think right out of the gate, I have to say it's easy to use. The training hurdle for my team and for our other departments is so low. It's really intuitive product. It's easy to step into. It's built on standard industry standard technology. Um, I think what I really appreciate about the Lean Tech team is they always have an open ear. If you have any request or any idea that you want to bounce off them, not only do they answer it, but it seems like you guys really bring a lot of industry expertise to software development. And I frankly don't know how you do it. But it seems like you guys get the idea. We have a process in manufacturing that's maybe pretty obscure, but it really, we like it. It sets us apart in the marketplace. We've been doing it for years, and you're always available for support. I mean, that is huge. I can't tell you how many partners or suppliers we have where we need help on something, and yeah, okay, you can get help. It'll be another 3 to 5 days, but you'll get help. I mean, when sometimes you really need somebody to talk to, and you need them now, and your team is always available to do that. That's been very helpful for us.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it helps when our leadership has multiple years of operations. So those
Yeah.
same pain points we get
Yeah.
as a starting point, and then when you take the knowledge of you guys and other companies that have key processes, it helps because then you can shape it from into the platform, right? It's how we get
Yeah.
better. So
Right.
it's in our cultures like yours in a similar way. Like we want to hire the right people and we want to go solve problems for people and we want to have that be something where when they're done they're like that was a good experience, right? We just fixed, you made my life easier. I have enough other things going
Right.
on as IT manager, as plant manager. I don't need another thing to make my life hard. Let's go solve a problem.
Right.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. It
that
definitely makes life
simplicity
easier.
thought process. Yeah. Well, thanks again for taking time out of your schedule to share your journey and to give some advice as we continue to march on as partners together. So
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Yep. See ya.
All right. See ya.
Thank you. That was
Yep.
good.
That's good.
Yeah, it was good. You know, that's what I want. I think it was perfect because, there'll be nuggets. And how would I say this? One of the things that we have as value that we need to capture that we've not done, in my opinion, is there's they're not all IT managers, but there's probably 50 people that would say similar things. Meaning
Mhm.
they care, we're responsive, the product's good, it helps me in this way, it adds value in that way, and that we have a good solid partnership with,
Mhm.
right? And to me, as we go talk to plant managers or IT managers or people who are interested in the Thrive platform, don't listen to me.
Right.
Like, like
Right.
I wouldn't. I mean, just honestly, not because I'm wrong, but like I don't want to. I just don't like the concepts of people selling things in general. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like I'd rather talk to somebody who's actually doing it,
Yep.
to be
Well,
able
I
to
don't.
understand it.
You know, I mean, I've never ever gotten an ounce of salesy pressure from you guys. And so, I mean, I don't expect that anyone else really gets either, but I do get the point. I mean, obviously you have a biased perception of your product. It's a good product. Of course,
Right.
you're gonna sell it as a great product, right?
Right.
But yeah, I totally agree that yeah, find someone who's using it and really try to share those testimonials. We have the same issue. We in our company, our storytelling is our hardest part. And I don't know if it's not like we're Midwestern nice or humble about it. I don't think.
Right.
I
Right.
just think we've been doing this for many years and we got it dialed in. And I guess maybe we take that for granted. It's a process that we deliver high quality product and we do it so well. It's like, oh, this is not the norm, right?
Right.
Oh, we should really market this.
Oh, I
you
know.
know, yeah, our storytelling is definitely our hardest piece.
It is. And I think it really matters. Like I really think that sounds ridiculous. We both agree it matters, but I think it really matters. Like I think it's the differentiator. And that's why I wanted to talk culture so much, because I think it's the differentiator for the right culture.
Yeah.
Right. So when we'll work with companies, especially the big companies, and because our price point is lower than maybe some other things, you almost wanted to charge a lot, because if you don't charge a lot or say it's hard, then
Hmm.
it must be no good.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer you get what you pay for. And I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
are we off the record here?
Yeah, we're off there.
I we get a lot of bang for the buck in what you
Yeah.
guys are giving us,
Yeah.
licensing wise, especially.
Yeah. And usually, like for you, like you guys have a little bit of a sweet deal compared to some of the new ones, in that,
Yeah.
like right now, each of your site licenses would be individual. So
Yeah.
like our target audience, and you tell me on price point what you think about this. So if like the people who I'm talking about, being a fit to buy Thrive, when they
Hmm.
come on board today, and this is 99% of the companies we work with today, it's hosted. Whether they're a massive
Hmm.
company or a small company, it's
Sure.
hosted. So, the Yokohamas, the HEBs that are multi-billion-dollar companies, it's hosted. Like they don't want any
Hmm.
part of it in their IT world. So
Sure.
when they do that, so if a new company comes on, let's say in the Twin Cities, and IT manager wants it for his company, and they have one location, they'll usually do that and they'll pay monthly at $1,000 a month.
Okay.
Okay,
Interesting.
so they pay $1,000 a month, and that gets them unlimited users, the whole platform.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the audience that, if somebody's going to buy today, that's what their licensing cost is for a hosted, one site thing. If they do another site, like let's say they have another one in whatever, Omaha, then, and they want it to be separated where they only see each other's, then it's
Hmm.
another 1,000 per month for that site. So it's like if they want to, we have
Yeah.
some though that put them all together. They're like, I don't care about visibility. Each site can see their own. They can filter it out. Then it's a
Hmm.
$1,000 and they can do as many of their plants as they want. Um,
Yeah. Fine.
so that's how we roll out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're still getting a lot of bang for the buck. I mean, especially when it comes to support. I mean, you guys are always available. I imagine you just fold support right into that, right?
Yeah, that's with their
I assume.
support.
Yeah.
That's we host it. It's holistic. And
Yeah.
they can turn it on and off. If they wanted to stop tomorrow, they could. So it isn't like they're locked into some kind of contract or something, and it's their data. So if they wanted to leave, usually if a company leaves us, it's because they got bought out. So, somebody bought me out, the new company uses X, Y, and Z. And so, I have to switch to that.
Yeah. Right.
And then if that's the case, if they want data, we help them get the data off the system and move. But
well, your data's so structured, it's easy to do. I mean, your tables are laid out very nicely. Yeah. It's almost too easy stuff for
right? Well, now, and that's kind of helpful now, because in today's world, a lot of people are moving it to pushing data to Tableau or a data lake, or, there's more and more of that happening too on the API side of things, which, we're starting to get into with you guys on some different projects. But,
that's huge.
We spend a bunch of energy on that scalability for companies to say, okay, now I'm ready to do this. And so anyway, I went over time. Thanks for making time today.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Looking to see the final product.
I'll send you the video.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Jamie.
See ya.
Have a good weekend.
Bye. You too.